Joe, I wanted to do this topic today because it's just something that's really been bugging me recently. And that is just sleazy sales pitches. And I'm going to throw a few things in there sleazy, but also inauthentic, just kind of going through the motions. It really just like rubs me the wrong way. Do you feel the same way? Like, I feel like there's such a good way to sell now, and so many people are missing the mark on it.
What can I say? I get pitched. I get these emails. I get in mails and LinkedIn stuff on you know Facebook. All of it. Like we do this. Will you hire us? And it's like, why in heaven's name would I hire somebody just because they say they do something? So yeah, it's annoying, but it's sad. It's really sad because so many people are spending so much energy doing things that must never ever work.
And a lot of them are unintentionally insulting. Like I'm a marketer. So when somebody cold emails, cold LinkedIn's me and is like, "Hey, your SEO stinks." Da, da, da. I'm like, one, no, it doesn't. And I know that because we put time and effort into it. And two, why do you think I'm going to give you my business if you're telling me what I'm doing wrong from the
Yeah,
get-go?
that's
Maybe
an
it's
interesting strategy, isn't it? It's like imagine walking up to somebody and saying, "Hey, you're really ugly. Want to go out?"
yeah. I bet I can boost your confidence.
Yeah. So and I think what it comes down to is the only way, and I know I go on about this all the time, but the only way you're going to be able to sell somebody is for them first to trust you, right? You have to start with trust. Now, some people argue you start with like. I don't think I can like somebody I don't trust. So I really feel like starting with trust is where it all begins. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I agree. What are your recommendations for people to trust you first?
Be helpful, be honest. Um, the real way to make people trust you is to help them without expecting anything back. Now, the hard part is the people that go, "Oh, I got to help people to get them to buy from me," but they skip the trust part. So they kind of go, "Yeah, let me help you and then buy this." And it's like you have to kind of do it with a pure heart, like
Yeah.
help people, and then they come to you. They come to you, and that's the key.
What I find is if you help people, it will pay in dividends later on. So you may not get that sale immediately, but if I'm like, oh gosh, Joe Rando, he's just such a good guy. He's that Papa Bear of LifeStarr, just genuinely wants to do good in the world, then I'll remember that and I'll refer that and it'll just pay in the long run. I think another way to trust, and I'm gonna pull a George B. Thomas here for anybody that's familiar with George, be human. When you're trying to sell, just be human. So many people rely on AI these days. We use AI all the time. I'm not going to diss AI. But when it comes to making those connections, you have to be human. And when you build trust, you have to do it from an innate human connection, not a computer.
I love that, and I think as I think about what you just said, it's like one of the ways that you can build a relationship and build trust is on social media. You can go in and comment on people's posts and say things that add value, or let them know that you agree with them or whatever it is. But all these people are using AI bots now to do it, and it's so obvious, and it just annoys the poster when they look and go, okay, this person doesn't have the time or can take the trouble to actually comment on my stuff. They have to have a bot do it for them. It's counterproductive. Yeah, it's not a way to use it.
Yeah, it is just so inauthentic. And I think on the AI front, when it comes to sales, we've heard so many experts say this. I think Jay Kunzo kind of led the charge from our standpoint, but to get really good at storytelling. From all the marketing podcasts I listen to, and I know like storytelling often is associated with marketing and all that, but for sales, like tell a good story, get people's attention, just like and put them in a trance with how well you can tell a story, and that makes the selling a lot easier and more authentic too, rather than just A plus B equals C, always V closing. Are we doing this or not? Like just the sleazy car salesman. You just have to like really tie in those human components for sales these days because your customers, your audience are getting spammed left and right. And if you want to stand out, you need to be good at storytelling and being helpful and being human.
You know, it's it's human nature. It's wired. I mean, before we had writing as humans, the only way we passed on knowledge was through stories, and our brains are wired to focus in, pay attention to, and learn from stories. So you're absolutely right, Carly. And storytelling isn't just you know a beginning, a middle, and an end. I mean, really good storytelling has emotional arcs, and which sounds crazy from the perspective of a marketing pitch. But and I'm not saying I'm good at this, but I really want to get good at it. But you want to have an emotional arc. You want to basically have different levels of kind of excitement, and then some quiet. So if you're telling a story, whether it's in writing or on a video, you really want to think through the best storytelling techniques. And I'm not an expert at that, but I'm paying attention because I think that's where things are going.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. I think the other thing that drives me nuts with some sales tactics is when people come off as being desperate. That's when the sleaziness really, for me, starts to creep in. So if you can tell they're really being pushy, it's usually because they really need that sale. I would say as best you can detach yourself from the outcome of it and just go in with it knowing I'm going to help them. I'm going to give them value. And if they see the value in what I have, then great, let's make a deal. And if they don't, you're not the right customer for me, and move on. I think it's really easy to get emotionally attached when you're selling and to get heated and to get annoyed. And then it just kind of escalates when really you just have to say, I did my best. If they're the right fit, they'll see the value in what I'm providing. If not, I'll focus on another person. Do you agree with that?
100%. And back in the last century when I was single, I noticed something really interesting, which was if I wasn't looking for a girlfriend, I would always find one. It's kind of funny. It's like, when you're out, like, oh, I want to meet, I'm single. I don't want to be single. Never worked. But come, you go out and just be like, yeah, whatever. And the next thing you know, you'd meet somebody, and it's trying too hard. It's like you don't want to try too hard.
Yeah.
It's just being nice, being helpful. And I want to clarify, being helpful doesn't mean giving away the store. It just means saying, this is the kind of thing I'm going to do for free. I'm going to do it for free. I'm not doing it for free just so that, people will buy from me. I'm going to do it for free. And some of those people are going to resonate and want to come to me. And that's how I'm going to do this. And that's what I think a lot of people that are doing this kind of pushy selling and no trust, low trust selling are missing that point, you
Yeah.
know?
It really, you got to get good relationship building from like perspective, and then and build that trust and go from there. But that's kind of the, I feel like I just wanted to come on today to rant because I've been getting more and more spam recently that's driving me crazy. And I'm just like, nope, you're doing sales wrong. Here are some tips to do it. Anyway, that I just need to stop talking.
Maybe we need to create an AI bot that replies back with lessons for those, identifies those emails and automatically responds to them.
Yes, just get me all riled up. But
You
Joe,
won't even have
anything
to see it.
else?
Um, I guess, I guess the other thing, this is something that kind of annoyed me today, um, was this. I'm looking at these people on social media that are trying to basically get attention for their business, but they're doing all kinds of things that aren't are disingenuous, if you will. And I don't think that that's going to work in the long run. It certainly can work in the short run, but when you're in there like saying things that either aren't true or only telling half the truth and inflating your results, and you look at somebody that's got 100,000 followers, and their post gets 6 likes, something's wrong there. Either their content isn't very good, or more likely they bought their followers. And those kinds of techniques for growing your sales, again, it's not honest, and I don't think it plays in the long run. So just put that out there.
Yep. I like it. Well, I think that's a good point to end on. Listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave that 5-star review. We are actually we're in the top of Solopreneur for Apple right now, which is awesome for podcast.
But if you left that 5-star review for us, we'd be even higher than one.
It would be higher than one. We'd be 1 plus. But we so appreciate the support. Please continue to send it our way. Leave that 5-star review. Share this with a friend. Subscribe on your favorite platform, including YouTube, and we will see you next time on The Aspiring Solopreneur.